Okay, so what I'll do is I'll critique this video and give you some tips, things that I would do to make the production value better and or make the training look better in the video or whatnot. So I have not watched it yet, so I'm going to watch it now, and then I will pause whenever I think of something that I would change or do differently. Before I even play it now, I would stop doing this. This is called picture in picture. So you're putting a little picture down on the bottom right. That isn't a very professional looking way to go about things. Doing a overlay or splicing the video in, and I can show you what that looks like, is a much better, more cleaner, professional way to do it. So what that would look like is you would continue talking, but it would just cut away to it would cut away to this, the dog down on the bottom right taking up the whole screen. But anyways, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and press play.
Piper, a 8-month-old Havanese puppy that came to our 3 weeks board and train program. As you can see on day one, Piper was not the best at listening, and according to her mother, she would drag her while walking. So let's see Piper now after 3 weeks.
Nice, short and sweet. I like that. Danielle's still doing pretty long intros. I'd say 30, 40 seconds max. Yours is at 25, so that's awesome. I'm going to rewind it. Let's go one more time.
8-month-old Havanese puppy that came to our 3 weeks board and train program. As you can see on day one, Piper was not the best at listening, and according to her mother, she would drag her while walking. So let's see Piper now after 3 weeks.
So the only downside with it being so short is what I just mentioned before. It's kind of hard to do that because then you're really getting no video of you in the shot. I will try to find a video of maybe me putting that into practice so you can see what it looks like. Let's go to the after. A production value tip with your phone or whoever's doing this. If you open the door, because majority of this clip is probably with the door open, but if you notice outside how it's overexposed and it's very bright, if you with your phone, when the door is open, if you tap on the outside, on your phone, and you press and hold, it will lock the exposure so that the outside looks correct. It'll make the inside a little darker, but it'll make this whole image look much better. So the outside will be exposed properly, and the inside will be a little darker, but it will just look much better. And you won't have the exposure changing like it just did. Back up a little bit. I would have probably broke the dog and just gave the dog a lot of love, kisses, and affection, and then cut away from that. So I would have stood out front and said, break, and then show the dog, happy and stuff like that. And then I would have started in a command. And I would have done a transition from here. Whenever you're changing locations, you want to go ahead and throw in a transition, meaning like a fade to black or a swirl or something. And usually whatever transition that you use, try to keep it pretty consistent in the video, because something I had to kind of tell Danielle to slow down was she was just putting crazy transitions all over the place in her videos, and it was distracting, like almost like motion sick, like, oh my gosh. But whenever you're changing from one location to another, it's always a good idea to put in a fade to black or something. And you'll notice that stuff like when you're watching movies and everything like that, whenever it goes from like being, in one location with certain actors and then to another location, it's always a fade or some type of transition. And then I would have started with the dog in a sit or something like that. Not quite sure why the leash is dragging here. If you're going to have a leash in the video, the trainer should always be holding the leash. If the leash is dragging, then why even have the leash on the dog? It's like pick one or the other. Again, it depends on what program this is. If this is a 3-week and the final result is off leash, then get rid of the leash. If you're worried because of security, then just commit to one or the other. Either hold the leash or get rid of the leash completely. Looks good. So that was a very abrupt transition there, kind of confusing to the eye. So what's happening here is the video is very short, which is good, but there's a lot going on, and it kind of gets kind of distracting and confusing for the viewer. So we want to work on making it more fluid. So let me back up a little bit. So I probably would have made this a little bit longer. I would have put the dog in sit, broken, lots of praise kisses, and then I would have faded the transition to this location. I would have started the dog out. Always put the dog in the command and always release the dog from a command in this stuff. So I would have had it me walking into frame, asking the dog to sit, holding it for a while, and then breaking the dog, lots of kisses and hugs, whatever. In this angle here, I probably would have put it in a wide angle because there's not a lot going on. So when you don't have much going on in the video, if you put it to wide, it just opens up the shot, allows there to be more stuff in the shot to give it the essence of maybe more things going on. That's just kind of a little trick. So here I would have made sure that I walked the dog up, put the dog in a touch, and then broke the dog. Lots of praise. It's good. That right there kind of degrades the level of the training by you using the leash and stuff like that. This shot looks like you're still actually training the dog to do something instead of the dog being rock solid. If the dog wasn't solid, I wouldn't have included it in the video. Like, I wouldn't have included that. I would have either did it until the dog got it right or just not had it in the video. So let me rewind. So there's just a lot of stuff going on right here. Touch. So what I would have did is I would have utilized this come to heel to like start a healing clip. Maybe in the very beginning of the video, boom, I did come to through, and then boom, I would have started healing, rolled right into a healing shot instead of doing this and doing like 3 different segments of little commands. This makes for more fluidity in the video, makes it flow a little better. That was a very abrupt ending. So I would have made sure that I would probably, I know this, I can tell by this dog, it's not a very upbeat, happy dog. I would have tried to get a clip, ending this video on a clip where the dog's a lot more happier. I know sometimes you can't just take I would have did a slow fade out to black. So that's what I got. That's just running through that video real quick. I could have watched it more and tried to dissect a lot more, but that was just on the fly to give you some quick critiques.